General of the United Nations, Ban Ki-moon, has called upon member states to promote development while respecting the values and traditions of indigenous peoples. The penny black, issued on May 6, 1840, was the brainchild of Rowland Hill. Before the introduction of his prepaid postage stamp, the person who received the letter was required to pay the postman. This created many costly problems for the government when people refused to pay for a letter or package. Corruption, complicated postal rules, and exceptions had made mail delivery so expensive that the average person was reluctant to accept a letter from the mailman. Trade and the spread of information became stagnant in this environment. Rowland Hill thought the answer was a bit of paper covered at the back with a glutinous wash so that the bringer might attach it to the letter. Hill chose to use a portrait of Queen Victoria from an 1838 City of London medal as the centerpiece of his postage stamp. The imperfect penny blacks were printed in sheets of 240 with 12 stamps across and 20 stamps down and had to be individually cut by hand. For security reasons, they were printed on watermarked paper, and a full sheet sold for £1 sterling. While Rowland Hill's idea originally received some skepticism from the government, British citizens found the idea of using postage stamps to send a letter widely popular. This started a postal revolution that soon swept the globe. Since Great Britain is credited with issuing the world's first postage stamp, they are the only country on earth that is not required by the Universal Postal Union to put the name of their country on the postage stamps they issue. Sir Rowland Hill has been credited as the father of the modern postal service. His implementation of prepaid postage stamps in 1840 revolutionized the world's postal system and how we communicate. You're tuning in to Radio Havana Cuba, which is now presenting The World of Stamps, a program specially dedicated to stamp collectors the world over. I'm your host, Lena Valverde, inviting you to stay with me for more on The World of Stamps. The Cuban company Correos de Cuba issued a stamp series dedicated to traditional dances. The series comprises 6 stamps and a souvenir sheet featuring some of the most popular traditional dances here in Cuba, among them danzón, mambo, and conga. It is later known that the conga dance, which is a sure hit at school discos and office parties around the world, originated in Cuba under less than jovial circumstances. This dance originated in Cuba among the African slaves who were forced to work on the plantations of Cuba, and the short steps and human chain that characterized this dance mimicked the way in which slaves in Cuba were chained to each other and limited to only short shuffles because of the shackles around their ankles. The stamps were printed in the offset system in the vertical format of 33 per 44 millimeters and perforation 12 and a half. I would like to tell you once again about our new philatelic contest for this year 2016, which is dedicated to the 55th anniversary of Radio Havana Cuba. Our shortwave radio station invites all its listeners to participate in this year's contest, sponsored by the World of Stamps program. The question you must answer is as follows. In a world affected by wars, environmental degradation, and social injustice, how can stamp collecting encourage love, understanding, fraternity, and peace among human beings? All participants will receive Cuban postal issues as prize, since, as we always say, everyone is a winner here on Radio Havana Cuba. Essays must be addressed to Radio Havana Cuba, P.O. Box 6240, Havana, Cuba, or sent by email through radiohc@enet.cu. I repeat the question once again. In a world affected by wars, environmental degradation, and social injustice, how can stamp collecting encourage love, understanding, fraternity, and peace among human beings? The deadline is December 31st, 2016. And that's all for today. Join us again every other Sunday when we will have more on the world of stamps. Here in Havana, I'm Lena Valverde, wishing you all the best collecting until we meet again.
Thanks, Lena. Lena Valverde, heard every other Sunday, the World of Stamps, right here on RHC. Well, that's about it. We're almost out of time for today, but you can join us here tomorrow. We're here every day, same time, same station. We'll have news, we'll have views, we'll have features, as well as great Cuban music, as we do every day here on Radio Havana, Cuba. Thanks to Jose Pepe Costa Pupo at the controls, Annabelle Fontanella, our artistic director. I've been your host, Ed Newman. Check us out here on the radio tomorrow. We'll have the scientific and medical report, heard every other Monday right here on the radio.